Wayne, always great to see you. Mate, congratulations for the for the success. It's great. I mean, you've transcended the sport, right? You've moved across into a different sphere altogether. Like how's it happened? Obviously, I know you've got the shop up there. What's been the sort of secret behind it? Like you're everywhere.
Yeah, you know what? There's no secret, to be fair. I think the secret weapon was, I suppose, bringing my son on board after he left school and bringing him into the store and bringing me into the new century, so to speak, getting me out of the old times and get me onto the socials and really that's been the biggest thing, really. To be fair, he's got me in touch with the younger generation again, and they're being educated about my career and also about the sport.
Were you reluctant, mate? Were you like, that's not my window, that's not my vibe? Were you like, what the hell? Like, it's not going to do anything. It's not for me.
1,000,000%. We've been going for 12 years before my son come on board, and we've been doing quite well. To be fair, it's always been on word of mouth, recommendation. Obviously, having an amateur club and having pro boxers myself, I'm always on the scene, so we were always quite busy. And I was kind of relying on that and didn't really think there was a next step to it. Being old fashioned and not really into the old tech era, if you like. It was like, yeah, it's a load of rubbish, forget that, leave that to the online stores and what have you. And he sort of come up with it and sort of said, Dad, you know that you're missing a trick. He came into the store and I wasn't really sure what to do with him at the start, if I'm being honest. He was just coming in just to help me out. We were busy. I thought, help me out with the store now. And he was sort of in the background and just watching the way he interacted with the customers on a daily basis, really. And he was the one who first come up with it. And he was sort of like, it's different. So I believe what other stores are going to be able to deliver. You've been there, you've got the t-shirt, you kind of know the right stuff to be getting. You've got a club yourself. These are things that most stores will miss. They won't go in there and they won't ask the kid if he's amateur, if he's pro. The customer just comes in, he chooses his items and he just goes out the store. You're actually going that next step and you're like, all right, mate, how you doing? Who are you boxing for? What weight are you? What's it for? What do you need the gear for? You're asking them all the questions really to make sure they're going out the store with the right equipment. He said, I really think if you'd done a video on that, that'd open it up to a lot more people and educate people as well at the same time. So the first video we did, believe it or not, Trish, it was kind of I just think, yeah, go on, then we'll go along with it. I don't know if there's much in it, but we'll give it a blast. And we done it, and I was literally just taking the pee all the way through it, really, to be fair. Not, in a way, but I wasn't taking it serious because I didn't think it had exploded in any length or form. So we done the video, and I just forgot about it and carried on with my day. Next thing you know, it got like literally, God knows how many views. I think that same video now is on about 5.6 million.
Wow.
So obviously it was just, yeah, and that was kind of the start. The nucleus exploded, and then I thought to myself, this is great because like literally I can educate people on the sport a little bit. The biggest thing for me, my proudest thing about it all, really, is the fact that we've got so many, obviously boxers you were expecting on there, but so many non-boxers and so many new fans to the sport, if you like. People who didn't know about it. I'm getting messages on a weekly basis where people say, because of your videos, it's inspired me to start myself. I think that's the proudest bit for me, really, to think we've got a load of new fans joining the sport, so to speak, and a different generation, the younger generation as well.
I mean, I've got to ask, like, business wise, how much has it helped the business?
We've quadrupled, mate. It's got to the stage where I've had to stop international sales and that at the moment because we just couldn't cope with demand. And I'm all about helping out the local fighters and even the fighters in this country, so to speak. I don't want people, which has been happening, where people have travelled from Durham and Southampton, and they're all just coming from all over Ireland. It's been crazy. I want them to land at the store and not be like, and make sure I can serve them and we've got the gear in stock. So we had to put the international styles on hold at the moment. They'll be put back on as we move forward. But yeah, it blew me away. To be fair, the response that the videos got.
That's crazy. And so it was the first one that just blew up, as they say, was it? It
Yeah,
wasn't like you did it for a couple of months and it just built and built. Like it was first one, wham, you were straight in there.
he came in from school from September. He started after September. As I say, a couple of months, just watched what I was doing. He was just literally just go for him, basically just going to get stuff for the people. Go and get him a size pair of 9 boots and whatever. And in the meantime, just sitting there listening to customer reactions. We launched our verse video in the November We were actually in November, and literally, it's just from then on, it's been no looking back. And obviously now we're getting a little bit more comfortable with what we're doing, so we're able to change it around a little bit. We're bringing a bit more variety to the page. And we were able to educate on every area of the sport, be it keep fit, be it an amateur boxer or a professional boxer. You know, we kind of hit in all levels, but trying to change it around to make it interesting, and throwing different things in there from the boxing world as well. I love the sport, so to be able to give it back the way we are at the moment, it's unreal.
Well, when we spoke a couple of days ago, that was one of the things that stood out, right? Obviously, it's one thing making making it or doing well on social media, getting those numbers and all the rest of it, but it's another thing when you're actually passionate about wanting to educate, and the videos do that, right? Like my son, which is how I shared this story with you, but I say to the people listening or watching, like, my son was starting boxing like last year, and he said, "Do you know Mad Dog?" And I was like, I do know a Mad Dog. But I was like, he's never asking me, with all due respect, he's never asking me about Wayne Elcock. And then I said, is it Wayne? And he said, yeah. And he said he's got Mad Dog's boxing. I was like, yeah, I do know Wayne. And then he was saying he watches your videos. And then obviously I found the page and I was like, yeah, and I just binged them. I watched loads of them. But it was so educational. It was like, the weight of the gloves, the type of the mouthpiece, the wraps that you need, all this sort of stuff, all the stuff that people might take for granted if you're in, but if you're in the circle, you've had a few fights and all the rest of it. But if you're out of the circle, you wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, 100%. Well, the thing with the store is if I wouldn't wear it myself, or it couldn't be used in the amateur boxing game or the professional boxing game, it won't be sold in store. You could literally come in here blind, buy something, and know that you're going out with something that you can actually use. I think that was the biggest thing for me. Again, some of the things that used to drive me mad as a coach. When a kid come in, he's only just started and he's got a pair of winnings gloves or a pair of Reyes and stuff. So again, it gave me a chance to sort of say, give him a take on both sides, really. I was a kid who grew up with not a lot of money, to be fair. If you kind of got in the ring against me and you had a full Reyes setting, I'd say to myself straight away, this kid must be able to box. My mindset's going to be completely different. You're probably going to take a complete hammering. Tris, in this game, it's a 70% mindset. And I'm trying to give the viewers, if you like, or all the people who come in the store, the insight from a fighter, someone who's been there. So if you got in there in this Reyes set, if you like, I'm going to give you an hammering. I can't say, 2 minutes into the round, if you're absolutely rubbish, I'm going to hold back, because you just don't. You're already on that zone. It's too late. It's the same way if you got in there, as and you think this guy doesn't. You don't think this guy's much cop, and he turns out being good. You just feel sorry for yourself. You can't change your mindset and say, "I need to switch on now." It doesn't happen. So I try and say to the guys, the joke from the Reyes thing came from, like, earn them gloves, mate, because if you get in there and you're wearing them, someone's going to think you actually know what you're doing. If you're learning, you want to be able to learn, and you want to be able to learn safely. If you've got a pair of gloves that I don't think that's going to be the case, I'm going to be able to try different things, which is what sparring should be all about. It should be all about learning. And also, these days, it's too easy to get anything in life. Everything's out there, it's accessible. So give them a target, go away. For me, having a pair of Reyes gloves, it's not about, it's about commitment. Are you in the gym regularly? You're putting the work in. Is this the sport for you? Why get a pair of Reyes the first time you get sparred and it on the nose? You think this sport isn't for me, and the gloves end up on eBay. I don't want to take that kind of money. It's all about building you and helping you progress at the right levels.
Where did that come in from? Obviously, I know you've just given it context there, but
Yeah.
at what point did you think start pointing this out about the Cleto Reyes? Was that right from the get-go? Was that something that you've always sort of had in your mind?
Yeah, I've always said it to customers, because I've done something. It was more of a jokey thing where he went, mate, I said, hey, look at me boxing. He went, it's a couple of months, like, you started sparring. He's like, no, I'm like, what do you want to get? Then he want a pair of Reyes, mate. I said, I ain't selling you a pair of Reyes. Not a chance. And then the actual backlash, if you like, from that, good and bad in some respect. Well, it's all good, listen, because it just keeps everything flowing.
Yeah.
But people say, you should sell it. You're a store. You're losing money. I can't believe you won't sell him the Reyes. And then the other ones that are in the boxing world, they understand it. So they were kind of like, I get it. Earn the Reyes. I got my first pair of Reyes. when I was actually doing something as a pro boxer, I felt I deserved them and so forth. So that's where it kind of come from. I didn't realise it'd have so it hit a nerve with a lot of people, but a lot of people could relate to it as well. So I obviously then became the guy that certifies you for a pair of rays. It's funny because you couldn't believe the amount of messages that I get where people go, all right, Mad Dog, yeah, I've had X amount of fights, I've been doing this, I've done this, I've won this title, I've done that. Would I be able to get a pair of Reyes? Like, listen, anybody can get Reyes. I'm not stopping anyone getting Reyes. If you want them, you can buy them. I'm just trying to save you a few quid on the way.
Hey mate, you should actually do that. You should sell certificate or give away certificates when
Yeah,
someone buys them.
mate, you've given me a good idea there, mate. We've done a few different things. You might actually get a Mad Dog's Reyes certified certificate when you buy the gloves in the future if you qualify.
That's brilliant. Who would you like to have in the shop, mate, to work with? I saw Crawler was in there the other day, who's obviously a lovely chat, but who would you like to have in the shop? Who you'd like to do a skit with?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. For me, it's a massive platform. I think. I love the sport and I love to give back to the sport. And so I'll be honest with you. A lot of up and coming prospects, like we had Will Crawler in here, obviously, and some of the other guys. I want them to come into the store. I want all boxes of that because it's going to raise their profile. We've built a massive platform on there now to really help these guys push them. We had Shakan Pitters in here as well, and he was doing a bit. But obviously, for me, we used to get a lot more pro boxers in, believe it or not, before the social media craze. I don't know why we don't get as many in now, but I'd love to see them coming in because they don't realise what they're missing. I'm all about the sport. I know how hard this game is to help shift tickets for them. It's a way of like we did with Shaq on the other week there. And you're saying, when you're fighting, you're on this date, and they've got a chance to advertise their store on my platform now. I have not got a problem with that whatsoever because I know how tough it is to get it out there and to try and raise that profile. I'm more than happy for store really to be a platform for them guys as well. So yeah, there is anyone in the sport who's boxing at a decent level. Hopefully, we can get some nice big names in the store going forward, and just keep pushing on. Really,
Is there anything you don't stock that you want to stock?
I'd love to stock winnings. I'd love to stock winnings. I really would. But the time frame to get them in is ridiculous. There's a lot, and obviously they don't literally work with you direct. It'd be going through someone else. It's a tough one, really. I think we've got with the Reyes, we've got Sting, we've got Phenom, Hit and Move, Fly. We've got pretty much most of the mainstream brands. I don't really want to be stocking stuff just for the sake of stocking them. If I'm being honest, if I wouldn't wear and use it myself, I'm not really interested in stocking that equipment, so to speak. It has to be stuff that I know is going to last and do the job.
Hey, so let me put you on the spot here. I've got 250 quid. I'm 46 years old. I had a few
Yeah.
fights in my early 20s, not boxed for ages. So, but my son's going, and I'm going back to the club. What should I get with my 250 quid? I'm not going to spar. I don't need a mouthpiece, but I just want to get back into it.
All right, 250 quid, you would say. Pair of Phenom gloves, about 95 quid will do you. Let's get you a pair of hog boots at £90. So what we're up to 180 quid, we can get some wraps, throw some wraps in there. Another 10. You don't need obviously you don't need a gum shield. Obviously, if you've been out the sport a little bit, you might want to lose a little bit of weight as well while you're in there. You might have pulled on a few pounds while you're out. So what about a Gym Pro sweatsuit that Better BF wore and Chris Eubank Jr. famously wore not long back? That'll be another 100 quid. So what we're looking at, what 280, and I'd do you all for 250.
That's great stuff.
30 quid back for petrol.
Yeah, I need it. I need it. Mate, it's funny. I mean, we did mention the other day as well. I was one of the few Brits, mate, and I must have been the only Brit, I think, that went and covered you against Arthur Abraham because it was mental. Because off the top of my head, I just remember that weekend. It was Mayweather Hatton in Vegas. I think
Yeah.
John Duddy was fighting Howard Eastman in Dublin. And I think Amir Khan was fighting possibly Scott Lawton in Nottingham. Like everyone was
Yes.
everywhere else.
Yeah.
And it was just me and you out in Switzerland.
Yeah, mate. Some experience that was, mate. Some experience that was. To be fair, I mean, it was so busy at the time. It kind of took a bit of a shine away from the title that I was fighting and the guy that I was fighting. in terms of Arthur Abrams, which I felt at that time was probably one of the best ones out there. In any of the divisions, to be fair, he was flying, unbeaten fighter. But because obviously the Hatton Mayweather fight was massive, and the big fights around it, it kind of got overshadowed, to be fair. And most people probably didn't even know I was fighting on the night, to be honest. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience. And as I say, Arthur was one hell of a fighter.
And then tell me about this, also, Wayne. Obviously, you're using social media to your advantage. There are a lot of fighters and a lot of people in boxing, like, when YouTubers come into boxing, they're like, oh, he's a YouTuber and all the rest of it. And like, but this TikTok, YouTube, everything, it's tools that are out there for anybody, right? So fighters can use it and crack on and build their brand and make themselves more valuable assets by using them. They've just got to find a niche, right?
Well, their niches have actually been in the sport and they know it. That's who the people want to listen to. Someone who's actually been there. He's done the rounds. He's got the t-shirt. He knows what the sport's all about. He knows what he's talking about. That's who people want to listen to. I can't believe there probably isn't as many doing it as what I believe should, because they're missing it there. They're really missing a golden opportunity. Social's the way forward. Don't be like me in some respects, where I was kind of knocking it back and having the young blood in, if you like. He made me wise to it, and he's really helped me out. There really is a whole new world out there, and I've gained more fans. I'm actually more popular today than what I was when I was British champion, which is absolutely crazy in terms of being recognised and whatever else. Obviously, more of it for being a shop owner than a boxer, but still at the same time, it's crazy. But the thing is, what that does is it's making these young kids actually go back on YouTube and go, actually, this geezer fought Arthur Abrams, this guy beat Howard Eastman, and they're telling me about my career as well, even the young kids, which is something they would never do. So it kind of keeps it going. And as I say, I think there's an opportunity there, definitely for ex-professional fighters. Take it from me. The people out there, they want to listen to guys that have been there and know what it's all about over the guys, the YouTuber or whatever. Don't knock them guys. Fair play to them if they're doing what they're doing. Don't knock them. As I say, the opportunity's there for any ex-fighter to get involved and start doing something like this.
Do you hear from the guys at Reyes? Do they watch your stuff? Do they love it?
Yeah, they love it. Obviously they do. You know what I mean? They do. They love the stuff. To be fair, they're always complimenting us on the videos. They share them on their stories and stuff like that. So they know what it's doing for the brand. But honestly, I mean, look, my gloves are hanging up in the shop. You know, they're 28 years old. They've got Hencho Mexicano on the front, which is, I think the last one was about 1992 when they were doing that with the Hencho Mexico instead of Reyes. That's how old they are. They've still got the shape. And they're still in pristine condition, so to speak, other than cosmetic damage from when the tape was on the gloves many years ago. How can I not champion a brand that the head guard I was still wearing up until 3 years ago, the groin guard I still wear today? It's impossible for me not to champion a brand that I had so much use out of their gloves, and I never had an injury with the gloves. That they always work well for me. So yeah, I'm a massive Reyes fan. It's not for everybody, but for me, yeah, they're definitely the top brand in the store.
And now you're a Moncler athlete,
Mate, I wish
ambassador.
Moncler come forward and make me an ambassador and give me some money, because they're costing me a fortune. No, the Moncler thing, to be fair, it's that's a little bit to do with me and my ADHD in some respect, whereas I get obsessive over certain things. If you'd spoke to me even actually when you come down to the store last time, I think I was in Boston or something like that. I'll attach myself to a brand if I like some of the products. I don't just buy one, I buy them all. Everyone who knows me knows what I'm like. So I literally, when Armani had some trainers 8 years ago, I bought all 6 pairs and 6 different colours of what they did. It was like, I'll just attach myself something. If I like it, I'll literally buy the whole lot. And that's pretty much what's going on with the Moncler at the moment. It's my favourite brand by far.
And by the way, Mad Dog Jr., who we've got to give credit to, just give him a shout out. Like, his name, is he fighting? I saw him do some pads the other day. Is he having fights?
Yeah. He's coming back now, mate. He's going to be fighting again in September. He had a little bit of a break. Obviously, the success of the store and what have you. He kind of took a step away from the sport a little bit. He was getting very busy in the shop, and it was hard to do his training around keeping the store busy as well. So he took a bit of a break. I didn't push him. I just left him step back and let him make the decision himself, really. And I'm really chuffed to say he's made the decision himself. He wants to make some of the sport. He's been going to the shows. He went to the Crawler show, obviously, and some of the other shows you've gone to. He's really got the bug. And as I say, honestly, I think in terms of where he's at ability wise, and I've told this to him before, he's stood here right next to me now, mate. But I've told him before, ability wise, he beat me hands down in ability, but I didn't have me to train me, so to speak. It was just I come from nothing, so I had the heart and the desire, and I could understand he had a completely different life, the way he's been brought up to what the way mine was, to give him that little bit of hunger. So that was my main worry. So when he wanted to step away, I didn't have a problem. We know how tough this game is, Tris. I know how tough it is. I'm not going to ever force my son to box as much as I would have wanted him to. To see him do it now and come back now, he's training 2 sessions a day. He's in with me. He's doing another session after that. He's really got the fire. And what you're going to see in the new season, honestly, mate, I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table. He's shocking everyone where he's going sparring and stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to his journey.
What's his name, mate?
Wayne Junior.
Wait. Oh, it is okay. And so it is
Yeah, yeah.
actual Mad Dog Junior.
It is, yeah. I mean, literally, he was 3 weeks old in Switzerland, mate. 3 months
Wow.
old, I should say. 3 months old.
Yeah.
He was born 20 days before I won the British title.
Wow.
And yeah, he come out to Switzerland with us. His mum brought him out. He was 3 months old. We went over there for my daughter's wedding not long ago, and we was both in Geneva Airport. And I just said the last time we was here, he was like 3 months old at the time. It's in his blood. He's been around the gym a long time. I didn't let him start boxing till he was 14. So
Right.
it was I didn't want him to do the sport. But yeah, when he came to me and he wanted to do it, I wasn't going to hold him back. And I'm dead proud he's doing it now.
Is he a southpaw?
He's a southpaw as well, yeah. Yeah, nightmare. It was southpaw with a big punch. I think out of most of his fights, I think there's only a few opponents that have escaped getting a standing count or being stopped, so he can bang a little bit.
Is it too early to say if he's going to go pro, or is that on the horizon? Is that what you're looking
He,
at?
he wants to, Trish. He wants to. He really does. He wants to go professional. That's his guy. His aim now is to go into the pro ranks. He's going into his first year in the seniors will be this year. We're going to see how he gets on. He'll probably do a few more years. Probably about 21, I'd say, would be a good age for him to turn over after he's achieved what he wants to achieve in the amateurs and at least got a bit more experience there.
Is he training in Reyes?
He is. We've done a video the other day. Actually, Reyes give him his first Reyes set, mate. They've just give him a pair of Reyes gloves and they've given him all the gear basically, ready to start.
They've broken all the rules, mate.
He's broken all the rules. Luckily for him, he's a talented kid, so it wouldn't be too bad whoever's in the next corner. Yeah. Well, yeah, more shame them because they are punchers' gloves of them, so they suit him quite well.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, look, thank you very much for making the time to do it, Wayne. It's really good to catch up.
No,
with you,
Trish, no, I appreciate you having me on. Just jump in here, son. Just say hello to Trish for me.
All right.
Before we go.
Hey, mate. How you
himself.
doing? You're, he's got the Montclair as well.
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Like father, like son.
Yeah. Really good to see you both, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
Nice one, Trish. Cheers, mate.
Take care. See ya.
Bless you, mate. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra.